Hey guys! Today we'll be covering a 2022 mystery thriller film called Deep Water. The movie opens up with a tech businessman, Victor Van Allen, riding his mountain bike on a silent, tree-lined road. Vic's small family includes his wife, Melinda, and his daughter, Trixie. They live in a small town in Little Wesley, Louisiana. After some time, he returns home and finds Melinda waiting for him, sitting on the staircase. When Vic asks what's happened, she doesn't say anything and simply goes inside the house. In the next scene, while Melinda's getting ready for a party, she asks Vic to choose a dress for her and also asks him to help her put on the sandals. Vic agrees, and as a gentleman, he helps her put on the shoes. Right then, Melinda tells Vic that she loves him very much. Soon, the couple heads out for the party, leaving their daughter with the babysitter, Chelsea. At the party, Vic and Melinda catch up with their friends, drink some alcohol, and talk about their lives. In the meantime, Melinda spots her friend Joel and greets him. Wasting no time, she takes Joel to a private place and starts kissing him passionately. Vic can do nothing other than just look at her doing all this. Despite noticing Vic keeping an eye on them, Melinda does not stop kissing Joel. Right then, one of Vic's friends, Mary, approaches him and expresses her concerns about Joel and Melinda being together. However, Vic tells her that he does not care about what's going on and that he loves Melinda the way she is. Later, Melinda returns to the party and starts playing the piano. Vic approaches her and just smiles, assuring her that he is okay with what she did with Joel. Shortly after, Joel comes to Vic and expresses his gratitude for letting him spend time with Melinda. During a private conversation, Vic asks Joel if he remembers Melinda's previous lover, Martin McCrae, who disappeared a month ago. He then reveals that he is the one who made him disappear. Joel just laughs at the story, but Vic assures him that he is serious. Joel gets afraid and leaves the party without saying goodbye to Melinda. In the following scene, Vic and Melinda are about to leave the party when Melinda asks him if he said anything to Joel. Vic denies threatening or saying anything to Joel, and the couple heads home. Back at home, Melinda removes her top and starts roaming around the house half naked, with Chelsea still inside the house. Vic apologizes to Chelsea for Melinda's behavior and asks Melinda to get inside her room. Shortly after, Vic approaches Melinda and helps her remove her clothes. Here it is revealed that they actually have a mutual agreement under which Melinda is allowed to make love with anyone she likes. In return, she cannot divorce Vic and has to stay with him and Trixie. Vic is worried about his family and his daughter, so he agrees to stick with the terms of the agreement. The following day, Vic drops Trixie off at her school and on his way out meets his friend Jen, who asks him if he actually killed Martin McCrae. Vic replies that it was a joke, and the two depart after making plans for the next party. Despite this, the rumor spreads quickly among Vic's friends, and everyone keeps asking him if he killed Martin. Vic tells them all that it was a joke that he said to Joel to keep him away from his wife. In the next scene, Vic arrives home to find Melinda angry at him, since she also learned about Vic killing Martin. She confronts him for threatening her lover and urges him to apologize to Joel. She also mentions that she has already invited Joel for dinner the coming Friday. The scene then shifts to Joel arriving at Vic's house for dinner. Vic greets Joel and asks him to take a seat. While having dinner, Joel thanks Vic for the grilled sandwich and tells Melinda that he is moving to Mexico next week. Hearing this, Melinda asks Vic to put Trixie to bed and read her some bedtime stories so that she and Joel can spend some time alone. Vic agrees and takes Trixie to her bedroom. After Trixie falls asleep, Vic comes downstairs to find Melinda and Joel dancing together and enjoying their time. When Melinda is heading towards the bathroom, she directs Vic to make another drink for Joel. Vic complies and approaches Joel, who arrogantly asks Vic for an apology. But to his surprise, Vic again tells him that he actually killed Martin with the hammer. He also calls an Uber for Joel and suggests he leave before meeting the same fate as Martin. A few days later, the family can be seen at a party where they meet a screenplay writer, Don Wilson, and his wife, Kelly. Don asks about Vic's business and tells him he is doing a great job. Later, seeing Trixie and Melinda dancing, Vic asks Kelly to dance, and after she agrees, they start dancing. This makes Melinda jealous, and she continues watching Vic dance. On their way back home, Melinda asks Vic if he finds Kelly more attractive than her, and Vic admits it. With this, she tries to prove herself better than Kelly, and the couple gets intimate as soon as they reach home. The next day, Vic and Melinda are watching Trixie play with her friends at school. Right then, Vic gets a call from his bank informing him about a recent transaction made from Melinda's account to a piano teacher, Charlie Delisle. After making calls to some of the live music restaurants, Vic manages to track down Charlie and goes to see him in person. Surprisingly, Melinda also arrives at the restaurant, smiling and talking with Charlie. Vic sees her and learns that she has started seeing Charlie behind his back. One night, Melinda does not return home and spends the night with Charlie. When she returns home the next morning, Vic can be seen waiting for her. He approaches Melinda and asks her to stop seeing Charlie for the sake of Trixie. But Melinda refuses to do so and tells Vic that Trixie was his choice, not hers. She also provides Vic with details about how she spent her night with Charlie and how he satisfied her. In the next scene, the whole family can be seen at their friend's house enjoying a pool party. Surprisingly, Charlie has also been invited to the party, and Melinda goes to greet him. She brings Charlie to meet Vic and introduces him as her piano teacher. Vic greets him back, acting as if he doesn't know about their ongoing affair. Later, Vic gets jealous seeing Melinda getting closer to Charlie in front of everyone in the pool. Suddenly, it starts raining and everyone rushes inside the house, with Charlie and Vic still inside the pool. Sometime later, Vic joins everyone inside and starts eating the cookies. After not finding Charlie inside the house, Melinda goes outside to look for Charlie, and when she sees him floating in the swimming pool, she screams for help. Everyone enters the pool and together they take out Charlie. They try to perform CPR, but to no success. Later, the police arrive and start questioning the people there. Without hesitation, Melinda accuses Vic of drowning Charlie. Though Vic denies it, one of the officers takes him to a room for some interrogation. Satisfied with Vic's statement that Charlie was drunk and clinging to the pool, the officers leave. Despite this, Melinda continues accusing Vic of Charlie's death. After returning back home, Vic asks Melinda if she wants a divorce as she believes that he killed Charlie. Melinda just replies that she is not afraid of him and walks away. The next day, while Vic is returning home on his mountain bike, he realizes that a car is following him. One day when Vic is at Trixie's school, he runs into Kelly, who tells him that Dawn still believes that he killed Charlie and is making weird theories with Melinda. Vic then calms Kelly down and sends her home, but not before inviting her and Dawn for dinner at their house. In the following scene, Dawn and Kelly arrive at Vic's house for dinner. Shortly after, Vic takes Dawn to his basement and asks him to stop telling everyone that he killed Charlie. However, Dawn, who still believes that Vic killed Charlie, asks him to take a lie detector test, to which Vic agrees. After a few days, Vic can be seen walking casually in the market, where he notices the same car that was following him some days before, with cameras and other equipment inside. He then looks around and spots Melinda talking with a stranger. He interrupts their conversation and the man introduces himself as a psychiatrist named David. Here, Vic understands that David is a private investigator hired by Melinda and Dawn to keep an eye on him. Shortly after, Vic arrives at Dawn's house and accuses him of hiring a private investigator to spy on him. At first, Dawn tries to deny the accusation, but when Vic shows him a bank statement of Melinda's transferring money to his account, he admits it. One day on his way back home, Vic spots Melinda with another man enjoying her time roaming the city. The man is Melinda's ex-boyfriend from college, Tony, who is currently in the real estate industry. The next day, Melinda invites Tony to her house for dinner and tells Vic that Tony is the first American boy she made love with. Hearing this, Vic gets angry, but he pretends to be fine and behaves friendly with Tony. Later, when Tony and Melinda enter his bedroom and get intimate, Vic gets jealous and the anger inside him rises to another level. The scene then fast forwards a few days, and Vic can be seen approaching Tony and inviting him to visit Melinda's new site. Tony gets inside Vic's car and drives him to a lonely place inside the woods, inquiring about his love life with Melinda. After reaching deep into the woods, Vic stops the car and throws a stone at Tony, hitting him on his forehead. Before Tony can say anything, Vic strikes him again with another big stone, making him fall from the cliff. Tony ultimately dies after striking his head on a riverside rock. Vic then drags Tony's dead body into the river and sinks it by tying some stones to his body, but not before taking out his wallet and keeping it for himself. The next day, Melinda suggests to Vic that they go for a picnic at their hiking spot along with Trixie, and Vic agrees. The picnic spot is the same place where Vic eliminated Tony. While Trixie is playing around, Vic and Melinda spend some quality time, with Vic telling her that he accepts her for who she is and will never leave her. He also gives her a photo book with the photos that he clicks secretly. Soon, Vic realizes that Trixie has gone far and goes to fetch her. Unfortunately, she has gone near the river where Vic drowned Tony's body. When he reaches Trixie and asks her to come back, he notices Tony's body floating slightly near the surface of the water. While driving back home, Melinda tells Vic that she has forgotten her scarf at the picnic spot, to which Vic replies that he will get it back the first thing in the morning. In the morning, Vic hurriedly rides his mountain bike to the picnic spot and rushes towards Tony's body. On the other hand, Melinda searches for Vic around the house and reaches the basement, where she finds Tony's wallet inside a box. As a result, she becomes sure that Vic killed Tony and all of her previous lovers. Meanwhile, Vic grabs a stick and tries to push Tony's body down to the bottom of the river. While he's doing so, Dawn suddenly arrives and asks what he's doing in the river. Vic tries to avoid the conversation and make excuses, but Dawn notices Tony's arm floating. Afraid, Don immediately gets inside his car, telling Vic that he will go to jail. Vic follows Don on his mountain bike, but fails to catch up with him. Vic then takes a shortcut and falls in front of Don's car, causing him to take a sharp turn and crash into the river, killing him instantly. In the last scene, Vic returns home after confirming Don's death. There, he finds Melinda waiting for him, sitting on the staircase like at the beginning of the movie. She stares at him for a while and finally reveals that she found Tony's wallet. The movie ends with Melinda burning Tony's wallet, indicating that she is staying with Vic and Trixie.